All right, everybody, buckle up, because this time on the deep dive, we're heading straight into the world of African tech.
And we're diving deep.
Yeah, no kidding. Forget your average app launch. This is about Texonnect, and let me tell you, it's a whole different ballgame.
It's big, really making waves.
That's what caught our attention, right? We're talking research papers, articles, even insider accounts. We're not just skimming the surface here. We're going deep on this one.
Absolutely. And believe me, it's worth it.
So what's the big deal with tech?
Welcome, Tech Connectors, to another episode of Tech Connect with Voices. And we're here today with Vicky Sampah. We've been trying to connect for a while. It's not been easy. You know, she's all the way in the US, staying busy. And we've also been staying busy, grinding in this part of sub-Saharan Africa. So it's good that we finally made the time to connect. And we have Vicky on here. Vicky, you're welcome.
Thank you, Papa, and thank you for bringing me on board. Thank you for bringing me on your show. I have seen all the work that you're doing. I think you're doing an amazing work, bringing all the tech people together, talking about technology in all areas, and it's interesting how things. This is a very beautiful community that you have put together, and I applaud you. Thank you for bringing me here.
Thank you so much, Vicky. And it's amazing the way we met. Actually, you were referred to me from another real estate developer, and I remember the first time we spoke, and I said, "Okay, I'm doing tech. Where is this coming from?" and then we realized we actually have more in common than we think. Property technology. I mean, these days, when they say, "Are you illiterate?" it's not even about can you speak English anymore. It's do you know enough tech to move on? I mean, tech is interspersed in everything we do. And that's why the creation of Tech Connect Voices, to give a voice to the many areas that we should all be taking seriously that we've not been doing. So thank you, Vicky, for bringing some light to a lot of people are excited about real estate and the money that real estate shows. But right now, you can't even compete if you do not understand the tech around it. We already had an engagement with actually from Nigeria, Venco Solutions, who spoke quite a bit about property tech and smart solutions around smart buildings and things like that. And we're definitely going to be having more conversations around it. But we also want to hear a different perspective from Vicky. And Vicky, I know you've been going to a lot of conferences. I know you've been doing a lot in the real estate area. So maybe can you bring us up to speed as to who you are, what your background is, and how you got into property tech in the first place?
Well, thank you again. As you rightly said, I've been doing a lot in the real estate industry. I started this journey 25 years ago, and little did I know that this real estate industry is huge, and it's just the sky is the limit. And I have been into real estate sales, real estate development, real estate financing. I've done mortgages before. I've done a little bit of everything, corporate real estate. I have done communication, telecommunication, tower management, and I'm now doing institutional development and technology. So I've sold real estate for about 25 years now. I'm still selling real estate both in Ghana and in the US. I still hold my license in the US, and I still sell property in Ghana. And I also support the governments, both in Ghana and also in the US. I sit on the board of directors of the Ghana Real Estate Agency Council, helping to legislate real estate licensing and education in Ghana. And I also sit on the US board of real estate in the state of Illinois on the disciplinary committee as well. So in a nutshell, that's about me. Currently, I'm running a project called The Exchange. The Exchange is a multiple listing service. It's going to we're developing a real estate portal for continental Africa so that we can all have our real estate properties in one portal. It's going to be a multi-language, multi-currency, and multi-country portal that will bring all real estate properties into this portal. So somebody sitting anywhere can just go to that one single portal and look for properties in any language and in any country in Africa. That's what I'm working on right now.
Wow, Vicky. Now, listeners, if you did not know, we're with a big woman. So let's take advantage and get all the apport she has to position ourselves for this future. Now, Vicky, can you give us a brief overview of how PropTech, property technology, has transformed the real estate industry in recent years?
Well, as you all know, and Papa, with all your hats that you wear in technology right now, I think you are learning all the aspects of technology
Absolutely.
everywhere.
Absolutely.
Technology has changed the entire world, not just US or Europe, but it's just everywhere. From medical, medical services, delivery of medications, education. We're doing distant learning right now. People are doing their PhDs and they are doing their master's degrees online, and it's seamless. They go and do their graduation, and you would think they sat in the classroom all the time, but they did it online, and nobody knows. So technology has changed a lot of things, including real estate. Now, when we started doing real estate, personally for me, when I started 25 years ago, why would I think technology has anything to do with real estate? But with the changes and the innovations that technology is coming up with, we have seen that we cannot do without technology. Everything in this world, even the food that we eat, is becoming technologically driven. So real estate has changed a lot because it's become global. Real estate is no more local anymore. It's more global than we think, especially after the COVID, when people couldn't travel, people couldn't see people's faces. We could still do business online. We could still do virtual tours. We could still see properties that we're developing in another country. I know people who were in, Ghana, who were in the US and were developing in Ghana and could still do video tours and virtual tours and see properties they wanted to rent or they wanted to buy, or even developments that they were doing in Ghana. They could see every stage of the development through technology. There's a lot that technology firms have also come up with. Property management, data, big data in real estate is huge right now. Smart homes are all technology in real estate. There's so many innovations when it comes to construction technology, when it comes to property management, how we automate our rent collections, lease management, how we maintain and make work orders, maintenance orders, preventive maintenance, and regular maintenance as well. And also maintenance, not maintenance, but repairs that, come up during if somebody's managing a property and there's any repairs. There are platforms that residents can just go onto the platform and enter their issues, and the maintenance teams or the repair teams, the technicians, will receive that order and immediately go and fix it. You don't have to pick up a phone anymore and call. When we talk about Airbnb is huge right now and it's all over the world. It has changed the way people travel and book their hotel, not their hotels, but residences. Even hotels are even on Airbnb right now. Some hotels are on Airbnb because they couldn't compete with the Airbnb market, And amazing thing is you can actually book your Airbnb, go into that room without even seeing the owner or the property manager. They can give you access remotely. They can give you a code to get into the room. When you get into the room, everything is there. All they have to give you is numbers and codes and everything, and you automate everything. Sometimes you get into the room and the lights come on, right? This is technology. And the light goes off when you don't go into an area for some time, the light automatically goes off. So these are all technology that people have brought into their buildings, their development, their property management, that has made real estate seamless. It's made real estate more efficient and easy for people to do business. And it's actually increased the amount of investment and the monies that people have even put into real estate. People are even able to invest more, buy more, and made things much more easier.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. Let's delve into the trends, the current trends that have you excited. You've been going to a lot of conferences recently. I think you just went one recently last week or 2 weeks ago or something like that. What are the mad trends that are going on right now? What's gotten everybody hot?
Well, right now, the conferences that I have been attending, I'm doing more of the technology in terms of data and online platforms and
Okay.
multiple listing services.
Okay.
So these are conferences that I am right now attending because of the development of our new platform, which is
Yeah.
called the Exchange.
Okay.
The trends are increasing because the world is getting more into compliance.
Okay.
People want to make sure that any data that they put into a system is
Mm,
compliant with, I mean, globally compliant.
mm, mm,
We have moved away from just taking data on a property and just dumping it into a system.
mm,
People are more cautious
mm,
about the validity of a property that you have put on the market.
mm,
How many bedrooms it is,
mm.
what's the square footage, what area it is, what amenities that come with it. These are very, very important. And it's unfortunate that sometimes we overlook some of these things. But in this world, virtual world that we find ourselves, these these data, this pertinent information I'm talking about are very important because people sit miles and miles away and make decisions, right? So somebody sitting somewhere in Japan and wants to come and do some business in Ghana. They're looking for a warehouse or they're looking for somewhere to live, right? If they're looking for a warehouse, they're looking for the measurement of the warehouse. They want to know how high this warehouse is in order to make that informed decision. If you do not put that information into the system, people are looking online for this information. They won't be able to figure out whether a 40-footer container high cube is going to fit into this warehouse, right? So you need to put every little bit of information that you're looking for into the system. And so we are actually coming up with a system that has all these tools that people will be able to add their data so that people can use it to make informed decision without making any mistakes.
And with that
Uh,
amount of data, we're talking about big data now. We're talking about now needing tools like AI to interface.
exactly, right, exactly. And then, yeah, exactly. So these are some of the things that we want to incorporate into our platform, incorporating AI into the platform,
Mm,
that people can be able to, also people can be able to go on the platform and make analysis on different areas, how the market is. Somebody sitting somewhere that haven't been to Ghana before, they should be able to tell whether the Accra Tema motorway is a very good area for me to get a warehouse. Is it close to the harbor? Is it close to is the highway? Is the highway okay for me to use trucks? Is the warehouse located in a road on a road that's accessible to my warehouse or the harbor? All these information that is really needed, we need to put them in the platform. So I'm attending all these conferences, learning more, comparing which tools will benefit Africa and those that we feel that we can't use. um, Again, I'm learning about compliance. Every country has their own rules and regulation as far as data is concerned, as far as marketing is concerned. So these are some of the things that are trending right now. The multiple listing service conferences are doing very well right now because that's really the only way that people can get data. And this data is what spills out into the consumer for consumers to be able to even see online listings to be able to make informed decisions.
mm,
So I've also been attending real estate conferences. The last one I attended was the National Association of Realtors conference that was in Boston. Prior to the one I attended in Texas, that was a multiple listing service conference. These real estate conferences bring together people from all over the world. And as I mentioned earlier, the world is a global world right now. you'll be amazed to know that a lot of people come to these conferences to look for other business or real estate professionals that are coming from different countries. People are coming from Turkey, from China, from France, from Africa. There's an international pavilion at the National Association of Realtors conferences that all countries, over 100 countries, host tables over there. And people actually come there to have conversations. They're looking for property, they're looking for investment. And so this is where the action is. If you go around and attend some of these conferences, you meet a lot of people, you learn a lot of things, and we bring some of these back home.
What are the implications in terms of decision making and cost opportunity savings?
Decision making in real estate, the professionals are the number one decision makers. I always say that real estate decisions have to be kind of a public and private partnerships. Groups such as associations, the government, and also their individual real estate professionals make these decisions when it comes to real estate, because they are the ones that have the data, right? And so let's assume that the government has any regulation that they want to implement. They definitely will have to seek some kind of education from the private sector and also from the individual professionals to know what is actually happening on the ground. So this is how decision is made in the industry. It is an industry that if you do not keep yourself informed, you will definitely make the wrong decisions. So collaborating with each other, governments collaborating with the private sector, associations collaborating with each other. There's so many different aspects of real estate. There's architecture, there's development, there's real estate property management, there is real estate salespeople, there's surveyors, there's so many engineers within this industry. They are supposed to work together. They're supposed to learn from each other, collaborate with each other in order to make informed decisions for the country and for us individuals.
And cost savings?
Well, cost savings, it saves a lot. I'll give you an example. I've always been advocating for real estate. The professions are a lot within the industry. And so there is a real estate salespeople who are responsible for selling and buying properties on behalf of their clients, right? There is a property management, there is the property developers, and there are the surveyors. I always advocate for collaboration amongst these, because if the developer collaborates with the salesperson, the salesperson is the one that is doing the marketing, right? So the developer will have to spend less money in marketing and selling properties if they collaborate with the salesperson, okay, than trying to, set up their own sales office within their real estate development and trying to pay someone to sit in the office and pay them, whilst you can, recruit an outside agent or a professional, by the way, to do your sales for you. You save that extra money that you have to pay someone an income or pay for an office, a computer. You save a lot of money. So that's collaboration right there. A developer collaborating with a real estate salesperson. Same way, I always advocate for surveyors to be working with real estate salespeople. Anytime I get someone who wants to sell their property, I don't just make up numbers, okay? The first question I'll ask the seller is, have you had a valuation? If they tell me they have not had a valuation, the first thing I ask them to do is, can you do a valuation? Because evaluation is a professional opinion about the value of a property. So rather than Mr. Mensah sold his house on my street for this price, so I think mine should be sold for that price, you get a professional who can come to your house, inspect what you have versus what Mr. Mensah has, and give you a calculated opinion with a market analysis and give you a good price that you can you can justify why you're selling your property at this rate.
And
So
even urban planners who have a general idea of where the area is going.
exactly, you still, every property is different, even when you're neighbors. It depends on what you have inside your building. It depends on the number of air conditions you have, the number of rooms you have, the square footage, anything that's in your building. Even if you have 2 trees and the other person has 1 tree in front of their house, your values are going to be different because you have 2 trees, right? So I advocate for collaboration between surveyors or valuers and real estate agents in Ghana. Because if I am always telling my sellers to do evaluation, then it means that it's going to make the valuer also important and give them business as well. So they save money and I also save money. And I also generate income. They also generate income. So collaboration is very important.
Collaboration is key.
It saves a lot of cost too. Yeah.
For tech enthusiasts who are, passionate about tech, but now thinking about real estate, where do you see the biggest opportunities for them?
For me, I think that real estate will get to a point that everything will be automated. People will not have to be physically present at a property. And people are doing that right now. I mean, years ago, people will book hotels and they sometimes they had not even been to the hotel before, but they'll still book the hotel and still go and stay at the hotel. Same way with Airbnbs right now. People book Airbnbs. With Airbnbs, you don't even get the opportunity to go and look at how it looks, right? But they still are able to do that. A lot of things are going to be automated right now. Even repairs can be done. Sometimes there are certain things in a property that, let's say, an appliance in a property. If you make an appointment or you use a platform, let's say Venco has a system for property management, and you put in a work order that your dishwasher or your refrigerator is not working, some of the technicians can remotely troubleshoot that equipment and get it fixed. So there will be a time there will be less need for human beings to be present to do a lot of things. So for the tech enthusiasts, I'll say that technology is the way to go. They have to get into, especially in property development, construction technology. Valuation is another area that I think they should also look into. Anybody that's interested in real estate and doesn't want to sell real estate or manage real estate and is very also passionate about technology, they can look into some of these areas. Data is one thing that Africa lacks. And so we're looking for a lot of people to help collect data. And when I talk about data, I'm talking about verifiable data that is genuine, to feed into systems. We're looking for data. If you look at the data statistics of real estate in Africa, we always run very, very low when you look at the reports, the data reports for real estate in Africa. We score very low because our data is all over the place. We are not organized when it comes to data. So that's another area that I will encourage people to look into. Like I said, property management softwares. I think Venco, most of these technology companies for real estate are in Morocco, Egypt, South Africa, and Nigeria. Ghana is now, learning what PropTech is and developing the PropTech industry. We actually have set up a PropTech association in Ghana, and I'll introduce you to one of our members that you can actually speak to as well. And he's an architect and very passionate about technology as well. So these are areas that I suggest that people. I know the young kids are very, very smart, and they're looking for so many opportunities. And I think it's an interesting industry. It's very, very wide open, and so people should look into real estate technology. Visit our PropTech conference as well. These conferences, there are a lot of conferences coming up. A few of them just ended. I think I listed a few of them. Africa PropTech, it just ended in South Africa. There's also the Africa Innovation, Real Estate Innovation. It's coming up in December. In is it Algeria? In Algeria, and then our conference is coming up next year in April 2025.
Okay.
That is the Africa Real Estate Conference and Expo PropTech, PropTech and Innovation Conference. Yeah, so there's a lot of conferences that's coming up. This is where you meet all these PropTech companies. You can also pitch if anybody is interested. They can also pitch their ideas. Then if you attend these conferences, there are also investment opportunities that people are also looking to put their monies into some of these ventures. So you can be lucky to find yourself a good investor at during these conferences.
Now let's talk about sustainability and technology. What role do they play in the whole property tech area, and how does it make real estate more sustainable and more long term?
PropTech is an aspect of sustainability.
Okay.
So one of our conferences, the theme of one of our conferences, I think it was the last year, the one we did last or 2 years ago, was property technology as an aspect of sustainability, right? And in this day and age, everything that we're doing and everything that we're planning to do is futuristic. Everybody is looking at the future, and that is the way we have to think anyway. Every country, every individual or every company is looking at tomorrow. We don't just look at today and what the end of the day brings us, and that's the end of the world. How are we going to sustain this very thing that we have started? Otherwise, you're not in business. And I'm sure, Papa, this whole initiative that you're doing, I'm sure you're thinking about 5 years down the road,
of course,
2 years down the road, even tomorrow. Who am I bringing on board tomorrow?
Exactly.
How am I going to be able to continue this? To the end? Is it just a project? Am I going to end somewhere? Even projects are being planned in such a way that iteratively we'll be doing more things every day, right? So PropTech is one thing that sustains real estate. Real estate activity and real estate transactions needs to be sustained, because when we apply technology, we make things seamless, we make things more efficient in order to bring in more work, more aspects of real estate that we can actually work on. So these are tools that are, kind of making things effortless, making things easy to handle, making things less human driven, right? In that case, we get more time to do other things. And so we need to look into the future, how we can sustain some of these things. I was talking about data, and I was talking about the multiple listing services. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because of the future. In future, how are we going to analyze our market? In future, there's a lot of people looking into Africa. A lot of countries are looking to do business.
And we need
Africa.
real data, real analyzed data to make the decisions that we need to do.
For the future,
So what would you say the challenges in PropTech are?
The challenges in PropTech
The adoption of PropTech.
Yes, the first challenge that I'll say is about compliance.
Okay.
Because there's so many tools, coming into play into this one big industry. Compliance is one big thing, and also because it's global, it's very difficult to be compliant in all aspects, because every country's compliance is different, right? So, for instance, our platform, our new initiative that we're running right now, the exchange, we're using some guidelines, right? These guidelines we are using is a guideline developed by RESO, and RESO is a real estate standards organization, right? So these are standards within the property data industry that we want to be compliant with. At the same time, we want to make sure that we are also compliant with the data. We want to be compliant with our industry, our country rules and regulations. There could be a country that, if you list somebody's property, you don't have to take a picture of maybe their bedrooms, right? Or there are certain rules and regulations within some countries that you cannot put online, right? So compliance can be challenging because each and every country is different. And since we're working on a global platform right now, everything is global. Everything we're doing in this world right now is not within a country. Once you go on YouTube or once you go on Zoom, you're everywhere. So we need to make sure that everything that we do, property management, whether it's development, whether it's architecture, whatever we're doing, we need to make sure that we're compliant. And so governments will definitely have to come in and give us some, idea or some support as to what we have to do and what we cannot do. I know the group was talking about some kind of regulations in cybersecurity the other day, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to, the moment you start growing in some of these industries, you have to start thinking of compliance.
Okay. There's a whole area, regular tech or Regitech, which we're also going to
look at that. Look at that.
How to support
regulatory technology, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So
it exists. It exists.
Yeah.
The technology exists. It's just not been put together into that box. So, yep.
So what's one innovation or trend in PropTech that you think will be a game changer over the next 5 to 10 years? Data, I like that.
Yes.
I like that. And finally, and when you say data, I'm thinking about even smart houses, data points, usage, statistics, and things like that. I mean, I can imagine the volumes that you have to analyze through, analyzing how we're using, so to smart cities, how we're using electricity, how we're using water, when is the best time, what the time trends are, if there are faults, wow, that's my favorite. Last question to you, Vicky, before we wrap up. What advice would you give to tech innovators or startups looking to make a meaningful impact in the real estate sector?
Collaboration. This is always my last thing I say in my interviews. Collaboration.
So collaborate more. Look at the data, analyze,
work together.
Interesting.
Yes, and that's more sustainable than anything else. Collaboration is a key to, the success of every industry. If you collaborate, you win more. If you work together, and like as it says in our Ghanaian language, 2 heads are better than 1. Tikro and Kwejina. So it's always good for us to work together, and I love what you're doing, bringing all these people together. Yep.
Absolutely. You want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. And I think the whole concept behind Texonnect. So thank you so much, Vicky, for your time. Thank you for this engagement. I'm seeing a lot of young people going into real estate getting super excited about this. I'm also seeing people that are realizing, wait, we've been going around it wrong. We need to refresh and come again. I'm also seeing even gurus and moguls finding new ways of redoing this. So it's going to be amazing. I'm hoping that also things like this will help in the affordable real estate market to help for people to get more affordable homes. So let's see how it goes. Sounds very exciting. And thank you for your time. And we'll definitely be engaging some more.
Hey, we'll see you at the ARC Conference 2025 from April 28th to 30th, 2025. We want to work with you guys, so let's put our heads together and work this. Thank you so much for bringing me again, and you have a nice Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving here today.
Oh, have some turkey on me.
I know, right? No, I did my cooking already in the morning. I was telling Alex my cooking already. So
okay, good for you.
Yeah, so I'm ready to have dinner.
That's what's up. Thank you so much, and have an amazing time, an amazing weekend.
Okay, thank you. All right then. Bye.